If the first game of race will get you loaded up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. First year again, here for the first May. Can everybody keep it up 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
All good teams face adversity differently. This team especially does not like to lose, and I saw that today. There was definitely a sour taste in everyone's mouth, and we came differently to practice, prepared. We're preparing a lot harder this week. There's a lot on our plate. We're ready to attack.
I mean, Peyton Manning said it best year one when we got here. He looked at Coach Heupel and he goes, man, you know, if the Colts lose, I'm all right. If the Broncos lose, I'm good. He goes, but if the Vols lose on Saturday, it hurts my soul. And there's a lot of other people. There's 103,000 people every Saturday who will say the same thing, and there's probably 1 million more watching at home. So it's important here, and those guys feel that.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
Well, how y'all doing tonight? Everybody okay?
Man, I'm doing great.
Are you?
Yeah.
What about everybody in the chat? Y'all in the chat? Y'all okay? Everybody okay? I'm going to bring the energy that this fan base has right now. Everybody, are y'all all right? What about you, Dob? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
No,
Hey,
yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. He's Dob, the X Factor. See you, Coach Rice in the house. We're going to survive this together. Man, oh man, oh man. I sat down about 2.5 hours ago and I was like, I'm gonna get geared up. I'm gonna get dialed in. I'm gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna get fired up, ready to go. It's Gator Hater Week. We got something to play for. X even brought the merch out. He's ready to go. Screw the Gators.
Let's go, baby.
Screw the Florida Gators.
Hey, look, let's turn up. Turn up. Hey, look, screw these Gators, bro. I got to keep it PG. I can't, turn into my inner Coach Rice right now. That's so game day. But yeah, come on, guys. Come on. Gator Hater Week. I love it.
See, X didn't spend the last 2.5 hours prepping for the show because all I did was get depressed. All I did was go back down a rabbit hole of Arkansas. And I'm trying to pick myself back up and bring the energy. Let's see who's in the chat. We got 100. Like I said this. I said this Monday morning. I'll say it again now. I can gauge the pulse of the fan base by how many people pop into a live stream, by how many people watch a video. I got a pretty good idea of what's going to hit and what's not. I can tell this fan base needs a win more than ever on Saturday. They need it. I feel like so many people in this fan base are just looking for a reason. If they didn't already check out, if they didn't, in the words of Vols JP, turn in their fan card, because he did it every other week. Like, look, we lived through some dark times here. We're going to talk about dark times coming up in just a second. We lived through some dark times here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, and old Vols JP turned in his fan card more times than he probably cares to admit. And I think a lot of people are just waiting. Man, I can't wait to lose to Florida on Saturday so I can just quit and I can stop watching. I got to somehow find a way to pick you guys up, build you guys up. We got everything in the world to play for. Let's see who's in the chat. Should we just start the show over? That may have been the worst start in the history of the channel. DJ Haney's here, driving those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. We appreciate it, DJ. Dan Porter's in the house. What's up, brother? Roy Miller is here. Jason's in the house. The Lazy Llamas is here. Ready to listen. I'm ready to listen and lurk. Craig J is here. What's up, brother? Cody Pope in the house. Papa J is here. Tony Canada is here. Travis Davis is here saying, Boogie, come on, Boogie. Come on, Boogie. Pick it up. Bring the energy. Billy Todd drops a $2 super chat, says door fee. We appreciate that. We need those door fees. We got bills to pay. We got to keep the lights on. We got to keep Talkin VAWLS moving forward. So shout out Billy Todd. Dakota drops a 2, says leaving Wisconsin tomorrow, heading to the game. Safe travels, Dakota. Have a good time. Enjoy, because I'm telling jokes. I'm having fun. I love this matchup. I don't care what happened last week. I still like this matchup against the Gators coming up on Saturday night. Dauber, let's just talk about it. Based on where we're at, this certainly feels like a must-win game coming up Saturday night.
I mean, yeah, I think you dropped the game that I think everybody in their preseason picks had it as a W. So all that does, that's one game down. You've just made it harder you've dug yourself in a hole. So this Saturday it's a bounce back game. How does this team respond to the adversity? How do they respond to the L? You heard practice has been a little bit more fire in the practice. I think it was humbling, maybe a little humbling. I think the sky's not falling. The sun rose Sunday morning. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it did. I think this team, like you said, that they still have every goal that they put out before the season is still in reach, is still obtainable. They just have to take care of business. They have to clean some stuff up, and they have to push themselves to get better week in and week out, because let's face it, it's the SEC. It's not an easy road to hoe. Ask Alabama going down to Vandy. Ask Ole Miss playing Kentucky. These games on paper, a paper's not a W. Stats aren't a W. You've got to go out and you've got to get it done, especially on the road. And that's why my pick early in the season for the Oklahoma game was a loss. But the way this team had played in the first couple of games changed my mind. Last Saturday, I came away with some questions. And we'll find out this Saturday how this team responds and if they answer those questions. If not, there's going to be some more questions and probably a lot more heart-to-heart conversations that we have post-game.
I can't wait. Coach Ross, how do you pick a team up? Like especially, post-game, we hear Dylan Sampson say lackadaisical effort. And then you hear Jacoby Thomas, there at the clip at the top of the show say, I learned something about this team. They don't like to lose. They're full of piss and vinegar. And it's all talk, right? It's all chatter. It doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, you drop a game on the road that you're expected to win. How do you bounce back? As a coach, how do you pick these guys up and say, hey, you're not defined? Like I say this all the time. People that are hating on Nico right now, Nico's not defined by what happened in Fayetteville. This team is not going to be defined by what happened on the road. How do you pick them up and get them to buy back in?
Listen, the first thing I'd say, guys, I know we did not play how we want to play, but everything is still out in front of us. Our goals are still out in front of us. We got to take it 1 week at a time, one practice rep at a time. And you got to take each and every day at 100%, 110% serious, and never take a single rep for granted, because you may never know when your reps are over. Don't ever take a single rep for granted, and have your brothers back, and show it with your actions. Don't say what you're going to do. Don't, do all the blah, 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 all that. Show me with your actions each and every rep in practice, the way you go about yourself in the film room, your mentality, the focus, the attitude, the want to, it's not just, when you're on the practice field. It's right when you wake up in the morning. What's your mentality like? Am I just gonna, go through the motions and then practice kick it on? No, it's all day, every day, and I'm gonna eat today. There's nothing that's gonna hold me back, nothing that's gonna hold this team back but ourselves. So we gotta go show everybody in this world that we're about that, and we're about to go out there and we're gonna do everything that Coach Heupels taught us. We're gonna do everything that our rest of our coaches, coached us to do, and we're gonna bring it each and every play through the whistle and never give up. And it's just never going to end. It's just all out 110%, blood on the knuckle. You just, there's no stopping you until your final breath. I'm full out. You're going.
You sound like you're in the locker room right now.
I'm about to say, yeah, look at Coach speech. I love it. He makes me want to go put on some pads right now.
But
Heck,
yeah, it's 100%
end of the bench.
all day.
They don't need you on the end of the bench in pads.
I said, nah, I'm here to play. No, look, hey, I almost said it. Screw these Gators. That's why
I'm gonna have to kick everybody off the show except for me and Dauber.
I ain't say nothing yet, Boogie.
I know, I'm proud of you. You're giving a good 63 effort.
Listen. This week I'm
Dauber,
trying to.
Everybody taking your catchphrase.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Go ahead, X.
No, I was I'm about to I'm trying to channel in my inner Coach Rice. But listen. All right. So now it's my turn. How I took the loss, this past Saturday, yeah, guys, it sucks. I mean, I get it. Batter ball syndrome all over again. I get that. But we just can't be defined by just one game. I mean, we just can't. It's like we all been preaching. It's like, look, you get punched in the mouth. What are you going to do? You going to punk out? You're going to just say, well, season's over. Arkansas is just a lot better than what we thought we was. No, it's just they were just a better team. And that's just it. We just wasn't prepared going into it. I mean, Dylan Sampson even said it. We just wasn't prepared. They were kind of, I guess you could say, sleepwalking going into that game. And like I said, good. I mean, I'm sorry. Look, this game is a wake-up game for us. And back in Arkansas, it's good. Wake up. It's let's be serious, because this year in college football, no team is safe. No team is safe. When you look at Alabama, Georgia, us, LSU, but I mean, we knew they wasn't going to be good anyway. All these other teams throughout this conference this year, I mean, anybody's going to catch an L. And that's why, and then it kind of goes into, the 12 team where everybody was saying 12 teams is way too much. They need to keep it at 8. And I agree with some of you guys. I do. I wanted to have 8 anyway. But from what we saw this past Saturday, that explains why that I'm pretty sure the NCAA was okay, let's have a 12-team playoff instead of an 8. Because this year, it's a free-for-all for everybody. But, guys, this game coming up with the Gators, it is a must-win, and we're not going to give up. So, like I said, we just need to bring the energy to Neyland and show these Gators that, hey, look, just because that you saw us up in Arkansas take to that loss, you're not going to come into our house and give us another L. No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
It's 1,000% must win. 1,000%.
It is. Because I think if you drop this game, you were staring 8-4 in the face. You're staring 8-4 in the face. I'm not saying you can't go beat Alabama or you can't go beat Georgia after you drop one to Florida. man, your back's against the wall at that point, and 8-4 is very realistic. And if you take a step back after what we all thought, oh, well, this is a down year, we're accepting 9 wins, which is comical to think about where we've been, the dark times we've came through, that we're going to be like, oh, well, 9 wins is a down year, but it's because of Nico, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It's because we went out and got our 5-star quarterback, #1 player in the country, generational talent, blah, blah, blah. We've been saying it for months and years, and it seems like eternity, and now it's his turn to shine. And man, 8-4, you win less games with Nico than you did Joe Milton. You talk about this fan base eating its own. They are going to eat each other alive, and some of them are probably sitting back licking their chops hoping it happens. And that's what's so disgusting. It's so disgusting about some of the people in this fan base. Like, I think we have the best fan base in the country and sometimes the worst fan base in the country. And I don't understand their mindset and their mentality towards that. The college football playoff, though, I think it's interesting because one of my biggest concerns with it was that it was going to devalue the regular season. Like you can drop a game, and you can. Clearly, as we sit here, Tennessee dropped the game. That loss to Arkansas doesn't mean as much, but dang it, it still stings because you had an opportunity, man. You had an opportunity to pull ahead, get ahead of the curve. But I think it's also NIL. I think we are truly seeing parity in college football. It's evening the playing field. I really, truly believe that. Let me catch up with the chat. Timothy for 2 says, hey, did you watch those videos I sent you yet? Timothy, I'm not even going to lie to you. No, I did not. Why? I watched 28 days later today. I took the day. I got up, I made my video, and then I was like, you know what? I'm broken. I'm beaten. I can't hardly get out off the couch. I'm going to watch 28 days later. And that's what I did today. It's Halloween season. It's pumpkin season. I thought I'd watch a little scary movie, although that movie's not scary at all, but it's a great movie. 28 Days Later, great movie. Give it a watch if you've never seen it. Solid zombie flick. I'm going to try to watch some scary movies this Halloween season. So sorry, Timothy, but I will get to it. Travis Adair for 2. Boogie 49-14 Tennessee. Game over with by the half. Travis is an Arkansas fan. I think he's trolling me. Carson Ray for 2. Can a duck pull a truck? GBO. I mean, he did once. I mean, that duck pulled a truck once. Maybe that duck pulled a truck twice in the last 19 years. Can it do it a third time in 20? We'll find out. Brady Ingram drops $2 super chat. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Brady. Dylan for 2. Let's go punch Sun Belt Billy. Ticket to unemployment. Man, how things I've heard. I said this on a recent video. I've heard this story before. Florida's down. Florida's awful. Florida sucks. Sunbelt Billy going to be fired before the Tennessee game even gets here. And now we roll into Florida week, and the national media, the talking points, the narrative is Florida's playing really good football right now. Tennessee better watch out. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Oh, my gosh. Game no bueno. Becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Guys, hit that join button. It's just $1. It's right there beside subscribe, or there's a link pinned at the top of the chat as well. The Lazy Llamas drops a 20 spot. That's an orange boy. We got a rule around here. You drop an orange boy, we got to play a certain clip, so we'll do it.
Rocky Top!
The Lazy Llamas says, Dorothy, I know I'm energized for this game. I believe the Vols is going to make a statement on Saturday. GBO, now back to my corner to lurk. You don't have to lurk, man. You can hang out in the chat, talk. I'd like to highlight some of your comments occasionally, but we do appreciate the $20 super chat. Lazy Llamas. Coach Rice, do you put how much stock do you put into it? Right, the Florida. I don't. It's not a curse. Like, we've ended the streak, man. 2016, one of my favorite games ever. Going with
all-time favorite game.
One of my favorite games I've ever taken in. Dauber gives me a free ticket. So what do? I get on the horn and call JP. I'm like, hey, you want to drive? Dauber, or JP drive. So I got a free ticket. I got a free ride. I got free food, free booze. Actually, I brought my own booze. Thank you very much. But, man, what a game. What an environment. Obviously, the first half was awful, but coming back, getting that win, celebrating afterwards. Again, the people that you take the game in with, like the time, not only like me and Dauber in the stadium, high-fiving dudes we've never met before, and then back at the car with JP, and we weren't driving, so me and Dauber could celebrate a little bit extra after the game. Just good times. But the bottom line is you've won twice in 19 years, Coach Rice. Like, that has nothing to do with Heupel. That has nothing to do with his players. Has nothing to do with anything. But we know it, and the media knows it, and it's something that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for the fans, it's in the back of your mind. But those players and Coach Heupel, that there's no curse or anything that's on their mind. All they're worried about is, looking at themselves and, hey, we got to bring it this Saturday. We're not going to let that, happen again. That happened last Saturday, and we're going to show everybody exactly who we are, everyone who we thought they were, but they themselves are going to bring it. And I don't think that those guys are worried about any curse or anything. I don't think it plays much at all. I think their only thing they're worried about is executing each and every play, and the communications, all the the coach speak stuff that those players need to be focused on, and coaches.
You got some of these kids that are still in diapers, man.
Yeah, exactly.
19 years ago. So it's one of those things. It's about like saying that we as the Talkin VAWLS have anything to do with the game, or a fan has something to do with the game.
Wait, we don't? I thought we did.
I mean,
that's what I've heard for the last 4 days, Tom. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but it is a big game. It's like I said earlier. How does this team respond? How does this coaching staff respond? Because that to me is something that, if you want to look at trends and patterns that do relate to this coaching staff and to Coach Heupel, it is, going on the road, losing a game that on paper you should have won, that you don't look prepared for. So that's where I'm going with this. What's the vibe around that? Is this something that is more concerning? Is this a bigger issue? Because if that's an indictment of your coach, if that is something that is going to continue to happen, where do we go from here? That's a big question right there. I think this team is good. This team is very good. Both sides of the ball. They've just got to play better than they did last weekend. They've got to execute. They've got to limit mistakes. I think it does help that the game's a night game. I think 2018 was the last time we played Florida in Neyland under the lights. So it's going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. I think even rotating quarterbacks, I think they're going to have their hands full with a well lubricated fan base and a pretty vocal and loud crowd. So,
Jeff says you guys said exactly the same thing last year and they sleptwalked through it. What do you want us to do? Like, you want us to lie? I never understand. Well, you said this or you said that. All we can do is come on and give our opinions, right? So you can agree with us, you can disagree with us, but I'm never going to, well, we're going to lose this game. I'm going to talk about how I feel in the moment. And I don't think that Arkansas game is going to impact this Florida game coming up on Saturday night. I don't. So no. I don't care what I said last year. I don't care what I said last week. I don't care that I said Tennessee was going to beat Arkansas. Like Dauber said earlier in the show, everybody said that Tennessee was going to beat Arkansas. So everybody was wrong, right? All you can do is when you sit in front of a microphone and you give your opinion, you give your opinion. And I still like where Tennessee's at. And the fact that they've only won 2 out of the last 19, that has no impact on this game. None. Like we as fans, we as sitting here as a YouTube channel, like we make way more big of a deal of it than actually. I guarantee you right now, if you pulled Nico to the side, Coach Rice said, "I've had enough of this. This guy's full of sunshine and rainbows. I'm out." He's like, "I'm out of here." Look, I guarantee you, if you pulled Nico to the side, or you pulled Brew McCoy to the side, or you pulled some of these players and said, "Hey, how many times has Tennessee beat Florida in the last 20 years?" They would have absolutely no freaking clue. I talked about this earlier with the Arkansas game. Jake Merklinger didn't even know if Arkansas won or lost the week before they played them. So yeah. That's what we said last year, and that's what I'm saying this year.
That I bet you pull those two guys aside and ask them that. Yeah, you're right. They probably don't know, but they could probably rattle off 4, 5, 6 plays from last Saturday that they think they should have executed and done better.
And that's one thing I'll get to. Like, yes, last week does not connect to this week. It's 2 different games.
You hope
it's a whole different week.
You hope it don't.
But the mentality of what you want to bring that you did not bring last week can, have an effect. That's
you hope there's no hangover.
And last year before the Florida did we lose the week before the Florida game? I can't remember, because if we didn't, and I don't think we did, that's a whole different mindset. Because this team, it's like Jacoby Thomas said, they don't like losing. I know that's what you want to hear from the players. That's what you want to hear from the coaches. But if we have the culture that we think we have, that Coach Heupel has installed in this program, I could go ahead and tell you those veterans and everyone in that program does not want to have another embarrassing game that they had last week against a rival that, yes, our players know it's a rival. They don't know the history maybe, but they know as that it's an important game for Vol fans. But at the same time, they're only thinking about going 1-0 each week and putting their guys on the ground, the opposing team on the ground, and go and score points. And, so I really think that the mindset of the players in this game is going to be so locked in. And it's not going to show extremely well. I mean, it's not going to show extremely a lot when I, say my score prediction. But I think the mindset and the mentality that these guys are going to bring this Saturday is something that Florida Gators are not ready for.
Well, and then it goes even to, like, how Nico took the loss, this past Saturday. I mean, one of the coaches even said, like, yeah, like, he took that loss to heart, and look what he did. What a leader should do is, look, he took credibility. He said, yeah, guys, that was on me. Yeah, all those previous guys, from the last game, they were like, yeah, I should have made that play a little bit better. I should have done this. I should have done that. I love that they all take credibility for what they should have done differently in that Arkansas game. And for Nico, like saying that he went back into the film room to go get better. And I'm pretty sure that they even hit the field after that to get better. So that's something you want to see from Nico as your leader, and for this team to have the mindset of like, oh, crap, we got punched in the mouth. We wasn't prepared. So now let's get ready for these Gators and take it serious. Because it's like what I said earlier. I mean, this year in college football, I mean, you can't take nobody for granted. I mean, look, you can even look at Alabama and against, Vandy. They thought, Alabama thought they was going to Vandy, because even Nick Saban, he said, oh, well, you going to Vandy, it's like a home crowd advantage, but no. Like, this year is totally different. You cannot take anybody for granted, not once.
Look, this game it's must win for Florida too.
Yeah,
like, it is absolutely must win for Florida. They've already dropped 2 games, Miami, Texas A&M. And they've got a murderer's row coming up. They got to go on the road and play Tennessee, and that's a huge factor in this game too. Josh Heupel and Tennessee way better at home than they are on the road. And like Dauber said, night game, it's going to be electric. It's going to be a hostile environment. And I get it. This fan base is down right now. They're still trying to pick themselves back up. But guess what? When we kick off inside Neyland Stadium on Saturday night, those people in that stadium are going to be fired up and they're going to be ready to go. They're not going to be the negative people on social media. They're not going to be the idiots on Twitter. They're not going to be the people that are saying you need to bench Nico Iamaleava and start Gaston Moore. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. They're gonna be fired up and ready to go. So you got to come to Neyland. You got to come to Neyland on Saturday. You got Kentucky coming up. You got Georgia. You got to go on the road and play Texas. You got number 13 LSU. You got number 9 Ole Miss. It is must win for Sunbelt Billy. So the pressure is going to be on them Saturday as well. What's driving me nuts, man? It's driving me crazy. I said it earlier. Everybody talking about Florida. They're playing good football. They're playing tough football. They're getting better as the season goes. Are they really?
No.
Like, is Florida like you go tell me? Everybody wants to talk about level of competition. Tennessee's not played anybody, but we are going to pretend that beating Mississippi State and beating Central Florida means that you're playing good football right now. Listen to, and I love JD. Man, I love JD to death. But listen to him trying to fire up Florida. And maybe it's fan service. Maybe this is to get clicks and views. I don't know, but listen to this. Actually, don't. I got it muted.
Step Brothers, they're living out the scene from Step Brothers where John C. Reilly thinks Will Ferrell is dead. And he goes out into the yard and starts digging a hole. And then Will Ferrell stands up and takes the shovel from John C. Reilly. And John C. Reilly says, I thought you were dead. I saw you die. Goes, I'm alive. I use my ninja focus to slow down my heart rate. And then he just whacks John C. Riley in the head with a shovel. That might be Florida right now. After Texas A&M, a lot of folks took him out to the front yard, dug a hole. They thought they were dead. We thought they were dead. Florida's still kicking, man. Now, UCF isn't like the Transformers of the college football world, but still, I mean, Florida.
I love the fact that JD can sit there for on three and go on a rant like that. Coach Rice, do you think Florida's playing good football right now, or is it competition?
It's competition, and you know, I've rewatched both of their last two games. They're not looking just that great. Yes, Wirtz is being, you know, kind of efficient and accurate with his ball placement, but their offense is not scary. Like, it's against our defense, and they're literally last in the SEC or second to last in the SEC in rush defense. So you're telling me that all that combined, they're playing top-notch competition, we should be scared of them? No. We're coming off a loss. This team's going to bring it, and it's a rival. There's zero concerns for me as far as Florida playing elite football right now. I'm more concerned about Vandy than Florida, right? I'm just being honest. I think Vandy's playing better football right now than Florida.
Yeah, facts.
Screw Vanderbilt. Screw Vanderbilt. We got a whole little segment we're gonna do about Vanderbilt. Don't you worry. Let me catch up with the chat. Visual Clips becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, appreciate it. Russell Carter also becomes a member. Connor also joins the channel, man. Thank you for the memberships. We've decided we're going to give away a free T-shirt every month to one of the members of the channel. We'll be giving that away next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be randomized. We're going to throw it into the randomizer. Whatever number pops up, we're going to go to the memberships. We're going to find you, and we're going to announce that winner next Wednesday night. You can join the channel for just $1 a month. We appreciate the support. We honestly couldn't do this show without the support of the members, so thank you guys. There's a link pinned to the top of the chat, and there's also a link in the description, or you can just hit that join button over there by subscribe. Wade for 5 says Swain said Nico was very upset in the locker room, putting a lot of blame on himself, and the team was picking him up, and he's going to bounce back big. I've heard a lot of people talking about Nico being more vocal since this game too, so maybe it's a step in the process, right? I've said it 14 times since the game Saturday, but the call that Nick Saban made to Kirby Smart, maybe a loss is going to make this team better. Maybe it's going to improve. Maybe it's a growing process for Nico.
So maybe your freshman or retro freshman, six starts under his belts, learning and growing and maturing.
No, he's got to be a baller out of the gate. We can't talk about, it'd almost be like if Peyton Manning lost to somebody like, I don't know, Memphis. Like we would just write him off and want to bench him, right? That's what we would probably do. Allegedly. Tyler Maxwell for 5 says, must let Nico run and throw. No 1st and 15s. I'll be there Saturday. Can't wait. They have to play like the best team in the country. GBO. That's a lot right there, Tyler, and you're spot on. They do need to let free Nico. That's going to be a shirt. Free freaking Nico, and stop getting behind the chains. This offense doesn't look. We talk about tempo. It's hard to go tempo when you come out right out of the gate. You complete a 15-yard pass, and guess what? It comes back because you got Andres Carrick wandering around lost in the desert somewhere downfield, like a holding call, a false start, whatever the case may be, man. That sets you behind the chains, and now you can't go quick. You got to win first down. That's how this offense gets going. You got to win first down, then you can get the tempo going. Wade for 2 says Florida really struggles with tempo as well. I saw somebody talking about that. May have been an article saying that they struggled to get lined up quick against Texas A&M, I guess it was. So we'll see. Yeah, that's it. Mississippi State. Joseph Harris for 20. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the Rocky Top. Appreciate that, Joseph. That's a very generous super chat. He says, I understand people panic, but can we not remember 4 years ago? I'm very happy with where our program is. All the Negavols have to take a deep breath. GBO. That's almost like that was by design. Like, is that my burner account? Shout out, Joseph. Appreciate the super chat. Very generous. Let's take a look back at history. I talked about this earlier in the week. Big Orange Mac tweets out, everybody that's upset with Coach Heupel, 31-13 at Tennessee as of now. That's after the loss to Arkansas. After 3 years, Derek Dooley was 15-21. After 5 years, Butch, 34-27. So Josh Heupel's been here 3 years and a handful of games, and he's almost got more wins than Butch, which certain people in this panel here say that Butch is the best coach they've ever seen in their lifetime. Jeremy Pruitt, 16-19.
Hey, he was a lot better than Dooley and Pruitt at the time.
Are we going to complain, Dauber? Like, let's take us through the dark times, brother.
No, sir. No complaint here.
No, we're not going to the dark time.
No, we're not going to the dark times.
No, but like I said earlier, though, I do think that there is a little bit of a question, and rightfully so, because you look at the last 3 years, you look at some big games that this team has dropped that they really shouldn't have, but you hope, just as I said, Nico is growing and learning from mistakes that Coach Josh Heupel is as well, and the staff is learning and growing. That's I think a lot of people last week particularly, and even after the Oklahoma game, it's we lost Golish, we lost this. Staff continuity, I think, has been huge in this turnaround that Tennessee has had. So, you got all the people complaining about the defense. What's Tim Banks done? Tim Banks has done nothing but improve the defense from year to year to year. So I don't think, especially looking at these stats right here on the screen, I don't think you cannot judge this coaching staff. You cannot judge this team based on one game. They came out, it was on the road. It was a very poor performance, lack of execution. I could argue lack of effort on certain individuals. I know for me, the offensive line just didn't cut it. And I hope those guys come out with, some fire under their rear ends and get after it, because you're going to have to protect your quarterback in this league. And I think for us to have success and obtain those goals that are still within reach, Nico's got to, he's got to have time to throw the ball. He's got to have a clear pocket. And that just helps set up the run. And, Dylan Sampson did everything he could do last week. And, he was kind of the only one that showed up.
Let me hit the super chat real quick. Michael Davis for 5. Appreciate that, brother. Says, I'd love to beat Florida on Saturday worse than the 45-3 beating we gave them in 1990. See, that's what I'm talking about. We got to go back to 1990 to find one. We got to go back to 1990 to find a good blowout to celebrate. We appreciate that, Michael. Look, here's the deal, man. Coach Rice, you came on here Saturday night, late night talking balls. You're full of piss and vinegar. You're angry. You're mad. There's nothing wrong with being angry and mad. I think sometimes we just got to pump the brakes a little bit and remember where we were and where we're at. And that doesn't mean that we can't criticize Coach Heupel or we can't criticize what they're doing or what needs to change, because I don't want to go back to accepting mediocrity, right? I don't want to go down that road. But at the same time, we can look back and say, hey, man, this is where we used to be. This is where we're at. We got to trust that Josh Heupel's the guy, but we also hope that he makes some changes. And he, like we talk about Nico growing and the offensive line growing, the players growing, Josh Heupel's got to continue to grow and develop too.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest key points to how do we come out and play Saturday? Does Coach Heupel make the necessary adaptations and, evolve? And I'm not saying evolve as far as, scheme and everything else, and
we're not coming out the wishbone.
That's an off-season type thing that you slowly evolve into what you're doing. I'm talking about game clock management, being better at doing that, doing smaller things, smaller wrinkles that that you're adjusting to what the other team is giving you. That because there's scripts out there that Florida, the way they played us defensively last year, I could go ahead and tell you they're going to give us the same game plan because it's an odd front. It's kind of, it's the basic look that we've been getting the last 2 years. It's a 3-2-6, sometimes 3-3-5 with a shadow over the strong side with the outside linebacker or star. And so they're going to have to make those, adaptations to what the defense is going to give you. And I'm hoping Coach Heupel has made those adjustments. Went in, put in the grind this week. Hey, we got whatever we're doing against this odd front and that teams have been giving us, we got to kind of look at ourselves. What do we need to do to improve our chances of our players being successful? And whether that could be a multitude of things, but I fully trust Coach Heupel. I'm not ever saying that I don't trust Coach Heupel. I'm just saying I think he's going to be willing to make those necessary adjustments that way our players can go out and be successful in any situation.
And then how we're going to play better, Coach, is like I said, the offensive line's got to protect Nico. I mean, Mr. Lance Hurd, we're looking at you, sir. You got to play better this coming Saturday, sir. Because and John Campbell. Listen, there's way too many clips of y'all from last Sunday where y'all was getting blown up every single time. You got to keep Nico on his feet, man, to make these plays. Then also, too, I want to point it over to the wide receiver corps. You guys got to get separations, man. You have to. I mean, I understand that, Jalen Hyatt, back during that Bama game, he was running, buck wild in the backfield all day, every day. I get that. But from what I've seen for the past couple of games, the only man I've seen stepped up is Dante Thornton. And kudos to him. I'm very happy that he's stepping up because after, last season when he suffered that injury, I'm glad that he's balling out. But now Squirrel, and we hear a lot about Chris Brazzell, it's like you guys got to step up. Like definitely these types of games, it's your guys' time. You got to step up.
I hate to cut you off on that, but a lot of it's not the way. Yes, there's a couple times where they're maybe reading the coverage, the wide receivers reading the coverage wrong and running a different route than what they thought they were supposed to. But it's not the separation issue. It's guys, I've watched the all 22s on both films. A lot of it is offensive line not giving Nico time to read the ball, read the progressions down the field, and then Nico not reading his progressions properly. Like not going from 1 to 2 to 3 and, rotating his hip, turning his hips. And then it's also on the tight ends and the running backs not doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, and it's like me, Boogie, Heupel, we've all said it. It's 11 guys on a single play, all, doing what they're supposed to do at a high level. And that's why I think a lot of this and a lot last week was the offensive line, predictable play calling, and Nico. Those were the three main key points. And when I correlate offensive line, I mean in tight ends and running backs, because all that I'm talking about pass blocking. And so that, and we got to get back to winning the box. What I mean by winning the box, when they give us 5 guys in the box, 3-2, we have to run the ball successfully. That changes our whole off. When we were able to run the ball successfully against 5 in the box, they have to bring guys in the box, and that opens up passing lanes. And when you're going up against 6, 7 guys in the secondary, there's no lanes there to be seen. That's the reason why you see Nico, getting happy feet and not knowing what to do, because he knows what the offensive line's been doing, but there's no one open. It's not because the wide receiver ain't getting separation. It's because there's no space to get separation.
So with that,
it's a lot correlates into one thing. That's the reason why I want to see better, quicker passing schemes, and that way we can open up the offense, run the ball, and then get to the deep stuff.
So
sorry,
with that,
I know I went long.
No, you're good because I
got 17 comments I'm gonna throw at you after X gets done.
Oh no, well, I just wanted to tell Coach this real quick. So, do you think we need to go back to 11-man personnel? Because as you seen, we ran it one time, and you seen where Squirrel, like I said, went up into the post before he got licked and he had to come out because he
probably
got hurt.
ran more 11 Saturday than we did. Like there was not a whole lot of 12 personnel on Saturday.
Yeah,
right.
Like they did. Like the frustrating part, man. Here's the thing. And it goes, like Coach Rice just said, it's so dumb and basic. It takes 11 guys executing. First and foremost, it's keep it simple, stupid. It takes 11 guys. So if you've got a motion Kitzelman in to protect, and their D end beats Kitzelman and Lance Hurd both, Guess what? Now you're playing shorthanded because one dude just beat two. So now the numbers don't line up. And being unable to run against a light box was the biggest freaking problem against Arkansas on the rewatch. And but yeah, I can go through step by step what Coach Rice just talked about. It's like wide receivers aren't getting separation. Yeah, because you can't beat a light box, so they're driving everybody. Like you're going 3 versus 7 at times. It's hard for 3 wide receivers to beat 7 DBs. Okay, but then when they do, Nico doesn't see them, and you got guys wide open. And we can be. Oh man, I'm not trying to go after Coach Jay because I love when Coach Jay sends me like screen captures. But I could have sent a bunch of screen captures from Saturday night with receivers wide open. But Coach Rice mentioned progression, right? Go through your progression. I don't know what Nico's progressions are.
Yeah.
You do to a certain extent, like the Dylan Sampson being open on the last play. That's probably his last progression, right? Yeah. Let's be honest. He's not looking to check down to Dylan Sampson when the game's on the line and you got to make a play.
Right. But
we don't know what his progressions are.
Cross where he threw the cross was open, and the hitch on the sideline.
Did you hear what he said post-game show, though? He said the throwing lane wasn't clear. There was somebody – he said if I throw that ball, it gets batted down. That's what he said post-game. Yes.
Yeah.
Post-game, he said, when I got flushed, I looked down the field. I forget who he said what wide receiver it was. He said, if I throw that, it's getting batted down. So then I saw Brazel working back. When I went to throw, the ball came out of my hand. Like, what are you going to say? Like, he's like, I got to do a better job holding on to the football. It's like, I get it. He's giving the media answer. It's like, man, you ever been playing golf and your golf club slipped out of your hands and all your buddies going, yeah, bro, I saw you shank the last 12 shots. I know you're a liar. It's like, well, the club really slipped this time, right? You know what I mean? It's like the ball slipped out of your hand. Like, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? I mean, the bottom line is
Saturday.
He was.
He wasn't, hitting the sideline passes he normally hits, with ease. I don't know if it was just giddiness, the feet being out of place. It just was a lot that went wrong Saturday. And
then too, when your O line doesn't block you really well, it's like, because like he knows like the blitz is coming, so he's like, okay, I got to get rid of this ball quick. So
I just want to see more snag concepts, stick concepts, and spacing concepts, and RPOs off of those. Because if you got an offensive line that's not doing what you're supposed to do, you got to protect your players and have adjustments to that.
Right. There's a way you can coach around that. There's ways you can coach around. Go ahead, Dobber. You've been cut off 4 times. 22.
I was just going to say another. And here we are, we're still looking in the rearview mirror.
I knew it was going to happen. The last 2.5 hours I've been doing it.
A lot of the problems with the play calling, the execution, we got behind and down a distance. You're second and long, third and long, dumb penalty backs you up, and this offense isn't created to be able to do that. It's spread you out, use the tempo, make space, create the mismatches, and we really we didn't have that. I mean, how many explosive plays did we have Saturday?
2.
Dylan Sampson's run,
and
the one pass play.
Oh yeah.
And then we would have had another one if Nico was able to connect with Squirrel deep, but he overthrew him.
That's why I'm talking about just being off.
It's a combination of things, and I said it post game. I don't think you can put the blame solely on Nico as your quarterback. You can't put it solely on Heupel and the coaching staff. You can't put it solely on the offensive line. I think it's a little bit of everybody.
We just got beat. I mean, like I said, Arkansas. That's why I said earlier, Arkansas was the better team. We just got beat.
The first half, Arkansas played as damn close to as a perfect of a half as they could have.
And the score was 3-0. Good Lord, man. So, I think that's what makes this stink so bad, because the defense played bend, don't break.
Yeah.
Arkansas played, like Dauber said, freaking basically perfect, and it's 3-0 at the half. And then you come back and score on your first 2 drives. It's 14-3.
So I do think the coaching staff made adjustments at halftime offensively, in the third quarter, and then it seemed to go away.
They went away from
happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I agree, Dauber. You're spot on there. They literally came out with a great adjustment. They said, we're going to run the ball down your throat. We're going to spread you out. declare 5 guys in the box, and they did that the first 2 drives. They ran the ball down their throat, and after that, for some reason, after Arkansas, after that second touchdown, they, responded and answered. They went away from running the ball the next 2 drives, back-to-back 3 and outs. And
what else they did, though, that's going to trigger people when I say this, but it's the truth, because I drive charted and I was watching. They went quick to the outside.
Yeah.
They went quick to the outside, and that kind of makes guys creep out, and it
Yep.
opens the box even more.
That was when we hit Brew twice,
and then Squirrel. I think Squirrel,
and Squirrel a couple times.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I've had a busy week at work, and I didn't catch anything. What's the status on McCoy and Squirrel?
Brew's likely to play Saturday.
Yeah, Brew,
I think they said, what they say, ligament damage, cast it up, splint it up, put a glove on, let's go play football. Likely to play. Squirrel, collarbone, out for a while. You know how Heupel is, though. Okay. Nobody's out for the season. That's cool because, when his leg got twisted around backwards like a cartoon character, he was on the depth chart for the next week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Squirrel misses the rest of the season.
Yeah, same here.
So, like I said, look, Chaz Nimrod or Mike Matthews, sure time, guys.
There's going to be some good news that a lot of people, and it just kind of spilled onto the GQ before this came on. I think you're going to see Mike Matthews starting the slot.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Saturday. That surprises me that it's not Nimrod.
And Brew, Thornton's good to go. And I think you're going to see a lot of Brazil too. And I also think you're going to see a lot of Ethan Davis this Saturday. I think they've went in. We're not using our best playmakers. And I think you're going to see a lot of Ethan Davis Saturday.
Do you think that was for blocking, for physicality? Look, I like all 3 guys. I like Holden Space. I like Kitzelman. Kitzelman has really impressed me. But Ethan Davis is your He's your playmaker.
But you got to get the ball. I mean, you think about 21-22. What did we do? We got the ball in space to our playmakers. Valus Jones, out in space. Tillman on the outside in space. Fant and the other guy, Warren. We're getting the ball over the middle in space. That's how you defeat these defenses that we're going against. You get your elite athletes, your elite playmakers, the ball in space, and you let them go do their thing. And that's the reason why I think you're going to see Mike Matthews this week. But because of the Squirrel injury. And then I think you're going to see more Ethan Davis.
Let me hit these real quick. We got Lazy Llamas gifting 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. We appreciate that. That's basically like a $25 super chat. We appreciate you, Lazy Llamas. Thank you for sharing the wealth. I didn't see who got those memberships. It's been a minute. Louisiana Vol been a member for 18 months, as I'm honestly worried about this game. The blueprint is there for Florida. Question is, do we improve on offense? Also, do we have a status on Squirrel and Brew? That's what we just hit. That came through a little bit earlier. Man, I'll talk about Florida when we get into our predictions. Man, I'm telling you, y'all gonna call me crazy. And if Tennessee loses, everybody gonna be mad at Boogie again. They're gonna be mad at me. They're gonna blame me. Somebody in the chat said that they don't like X Factor's Gator shirt. They said he's a Gator fan. X is getting ripped by the he's getting ripped on the banner. But look, check that out. He ain't a Gator. He's a Gator hater. If you're a Gator hater,
come on,
if you don't like Bama, you don't like Georgia, you hate them all, you can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You get your own Gator hater shirt. We also got shirts that say FUGA. I don't know what that means, but we got a t-shirt that says it. If you want to rep it, you can rep it. There's the Gator hater shirt. Look, you can click t-shirt. You can pick whatever color you want. We got tank tops, hoodies. These are cool again. They used to be dorky. Now they're cool. I don't know anything about fashion, but we got it. If you want it, we got it. Buck Fama. I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if you noticed, but if you sign on to social media, everybody is cussing about the election. Vote this way, vote that way. The only vote is Boogie and Dauber in 24. Endorsed by the Talkin VAWLS Network, for the fans, by the fans. We've even got our freaking campaign slogan on this t-shirt. So if you want to offend people, I guarantee you if you wear this in public, somebody's going to punch you in the face. So if you're looking for physicality, you're looking for an altercation, this is the shirt for you. Bonfire.com/store Talking Balls. We got all kinds of other stuff there. Clean TriStar shirts. We got the State Pride logo shirts, Talking Balls logo shirts, whatever you want. Get them where you fit in. The link is in the description below. Let's see. I want to look at this real quick. Then we'll go into our predictions because JD Piquel's taking over the show. This is like it's similar to what Josh Pate does, where he's like, "This is not rankings. This is just how I feel. This is what I'm putting out." But it's the hotel playoff penthouse. Those are the guys that like they're locks. These guys can be on the top floor. They're in. The reason this triggers me is because of something that one of y'all said earlier about Vanderbilt and Alabama. Why is it that Arkansas beats Tennessee and everybody is in full-blown panic mode? Tennessee's not who we thought they were. They're awful. They've not played anybody. They got exposed. Burn it to the ground. Fire Josh Heupel. Bench Nico. The nonsense that we see on social media. And I get it. It's a vocal minority. But we're driving all the way down to Nita Reservation. We're desperate, boys. We're desperate. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. And they are still up there in the penthouse. Nobody's worried about Alabama. Alabama's not freaking out. Maybe some of their fans are. This pisses me off, man.
It pisses me off, too.
It pisses me off. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, and they're right up there at the top. Nobody's worried. Nobody's concerned. Tennessee lost to Arkansas on the road, and all of a sudden, we're going to burn the freaking program to the ground.
And for Texas, I mean, and I'm just being real. Yeah, like Texas is the number one team in the nation right now. I get that. But who have they played? Texas
is the only one that belongs at the top right now. Everybody else is lost. All you can play is who you play. That's my opinion. You lost to Vanderbilt, you don't belong beside an undefeated Texas that's not played anybody.
It's based off of their win over Georgia.
Yep. Their win, yeah.
Who's right beside them up there at the top?
I mean,
Clemson.
If I'm kicking somebody out of that top row, it's Miami. They've got gifted 2 games in a row.
They can take BYU with them. Angry Titans.
Look, you can take Clemson too.
I agree with that too.
The only 2 that deserve to be up there actually in the penthouse is Texas and Ohio State.
Yes.
Because and I get Miami because they're undefeated, but I also get Dauber's point. They have been gifted 2 games, but they do also have, along with the running back at Boise State, probably have the Heisman contender. But I don't know. It's still way too early to be thinking about play because each and every week in the SEC and the Big Ten too, because Ohio State plays Oregon, so you'll see one of those fall down some more this week. So let the season play out a few more weeks, then we can really get going, looking at the playoffs and where we're at. But obviously we got to go out and take care of business. So
the only reason I wanted to reference that is because I saw it right before we went live and it pissed me off. And I was like, I gotta say something about it. Let's see here. John Mills for 5 says, got a new phone, watching on TV in the garage. I'll be at the game this week. Go Balls by 50. Going to be playing mad. I like it, John. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Michelle's in the house. The lurker is here. She dropped a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy, but she doesn't speak. She speaks on Tuesday nights, just not on Wednesday nights. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Donald Coakley also drops a 20 spot. Another Orange Boy. We'll do it again. Why not?
Rocky Top!
Donald says, look at the messages. Sent you a perfect song for Tennessee. I don't see any messages. Facebook or Twitter? I'll check it out. See what you sent my way. Appreciate the super chat, Donald. Appreciate the super chat, Michelle, and also appreciate the super chat from John Mills. Thank you guys for the support. Couldn't do it without you guys. Let's roll this dang thing into our predictions. Tennessee, Florida, coming up Saturday night. It's 7 p.m., right? Yeah, 7 p.m. kickoff. We'll be live an hour before for the tailgate show. We're going to do it just like we did Sunday night. Coach Rice, is that not the best fan calling show we've ever done?
Best flowing, communicative calling show we've ever had.
I got so many compliments. They were like, this is what you all should have been doing the whole time. Like, everybody that came on got a chance to speak. There was no cutting people off. That was a fun show. We're going to try to do it for the tailgate show, maybe a little bit shorter time frame for everybody to make sure we get everybody on. But that's what we're going to do an hour before kickoff. Obviously, we'll be live immediately following the game. Tennessee, Florida coming up 7 o'clock. Thank God we finally have a freaking afternoon game against Alabama. These night games are killing me. Let's just jump into it. Tennessee favored by 15.5. ESPN FPI 86.9%. Florida's 3-2 on the season, coming off back-to-back wins over Mississippi State and UCF. Who wants to go first? We won't let X go first. He hates the game.
I'll go last. I want to change it up this week. Let's mix up the order.
So all right. X. Wait. I'll go. X, you go first. I'll go after you, and then Dauber, then Coach Rice. I feel like it's a scramble. We're gonna let X go first because he's gonna put one in the woods. I'm gonna try to be consistent, put one in the fairway, and then we're gonna let Dauber and Coach Rice uncork one down the fairway. All right, what you got, X?
All right. Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is listen. I don't believe that there are good Gator fans. Listen, I think that they're all, disgusting human beings. It's just no, there are no good Gator fans. There are none. Somebody clip that. Save it. Because listen, all right, guys, I know that we're down right now. I get that. But listen, come 7 o'clock, we are going to beat the dog shit out of the Gators.
God, really? That was intentional. That was on purpose. That was not a Coach Rice slip of the tongue. That was, I'm going to cuss just to make Boogie mad.
No, but look,
gosh.
One pass. One pass. But no, okay. All right. Listen, guys.
God bless America. Nobody's listening.
Look.
They're telling their kids that we don't say words like that is what they're doing right now.
Listen, so, okay. Florida's offensive line.
We're listening.
Florida's offensive line is terrible. It is just terrible. I blame this guy down here. Look, he channeled me this week. Yeah. I blame this guy. But anyway, dude, Florida's offensive line is terrible. I mean, they're just terrible. I said, look, now as far as like their running back, we know the running back is pretty good. But as far as like saying Mertz, man, like Mertz, he has made a few good plays and stuff. And then, of course, he is going to, of course, scramble out of the pocket, try to make plays with his feet. I understand that we struggle always with a mobile quarterback, but with our defense, dude, Graham Mertz, he doesn't have a chance. I'm sorry. This year with our defense, he just does not have a chance at all. So I believe that, like I said, you contain Mertz, get him to the ground early. Don't let him scramble out of the pocket to make plays with his feet. Good, shut down, like I said, in the running game. And then finally, like I said, with our offense, you got to come out. You got to adjust, like I said, game plan. You got to, like I said, have Nico up on his feet. The offensive line has got to protect Nico to where he can make plays. And the most important thing is just run the ball because Florida's defense is just terrible. It's just very, very terrible. So the best thing, like I said, the best game plan for this is to just run the ball. That's all. Like I said, run the ball, get this tempo going again because I've been questioning it ever since the NC State game, which I'm sure a lot of the fan base has been questioning that. Let's get back to our tempo that we should have been running a long time ago, and let's do this thing. Let's hand these Gators an L. So with all that being said, I said my prediction is, like I said, look, balls by 50, baby. Balls by 50 to Florida 14. I mean, come on. Let's get this dub. Come on. It's time.
All right. Let me snap.
What was that? What was your official score?
I think you said 50-14.
50-14. Unfortunately, that's not balls by 50, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We are so off the rails. All right. Look, as much as I want to sit here and I want to talk about Josh Heupel and game plan and utilizing the middle of the field and running to the outside, mix things up, being different, running Nico. Like I could sit here and I could spend my entire prediction talking about Nico and how we need to run Nico. And I do think that. I think we do need to run Nico. I think that is going to make this. I think you run a little quarterback power, little quarterback draw, little read option. Look, all it takes is one keep, right? One keep, and all of a sudden now the defense has to be they got to be honest. Arkansas, they crashed the entire night. They knew Nico wasn't going to keep it. And I don't know. I was listening to Pancakes and Bacon, and I love reading Collar. They're great. And they were talking about how people saying that Heupel's coaching scared, and they were saying, no, he's not. He's coaching like he always does. He does not want Nico to get hurt. I truly believe that. I don't. There is a reason they are not running Nico. I think there was a reason they were not running Joe. I think it was the same reason. They didn't want Joe to get hurt. Guess what? If you coach scared, if you coach cautious, if you don't take shots, then you're going to lose anyway, and it doesn't matter. Go play the game. It's a physical, violent game. Run Nico. That opens up the offense. And I said I wasn't going to do this, and then I just continued to do it for the next 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't going to be about Nico. It ain't going to be about game plan. It ain't going to be about scheme. It's going to be about Dylan Sampson against a Florida Gators run defense that is absolute trash. They are trash against the run. They're 101st in the country against the run. And guess what? They played some terrible opponents. Like, they played some mediocre opponents. Let's talk about against the SEC. They gave up 240 yards. 240 yards on the ground against Mississippi State. I don't think Mississippi State has Dylan Sampson. They gave up 310 yards on the ground to Texas A&M. Dylan Sampson is going to eat. Dylan Sampson is going to be that dude. I don't know that we need to run Nico. I don't know that we need to mix it up. I don't know that we need to take shots down the field. I think we need to feed Dylan Sampson, and then we need to play a little defense, because I think, DJ Lagway, he's going to be a really good football player.
He is going to be a really good football
And you're going to see them rotate. They're going to play Graham Mertz. They're going to play Lagway. Does anybody know if is Trey Wilson back? Is he back?
As of right now, it still looks like he's
Is that the wide receiver?
doubtful. Yeah,
Yes.
he's number 30.
He
Looks
owned
he's
us
still doubtful.
last year.
I
Last year.
I thought I saw that he was probable.
I'm curious to see if he's back. Look, Florida's going to score some points. Graham Mertz going to make plays. Lagway's going to make some plays, but it's not like you got a guy that you're not prepared for, right? It's going to be Mertz for 2 series. It's going to be Lagway for a series. We know what we're getting into. They'll make some plays, but the big thing for me with Arkansas, we didn't force turnovers, and Arkansas has been really bad turning the football over, and Florida's the same way. They're 101st in the country in turnover margin. The defense needs to play aggressive. Stay true to who you are. Tim Banks' defense is better when you're playing aggressive. Josh Heupel's offense is better when you're playing aggressive. Be who you are. If you lose playing aggressive, guess what? Nobody's complaining after a loss to Arkansas. If you go down swinging, you go down taking deep shots, you go down blitzing, guess what? We're going to be fine with that. We saw it in year 1 under Josh Heupel. We played aggressive, we played loose, we played fast, and we had a heck of a lot of fun. Let's do it now. Let's do it now in 2024 when we got some talent. Bottom line is, I've flushed Arkansas. I sat here and moped for 2.5 hours before this live stream. I don't care about history. I don't care about last week. We got a better football team. We got a better coaching staff. Vols 31-17. They win big. They win big on Saturday.
I love it.
Go ahead, Dauber.
Got me fired up, Boogie.
All right. Hard to follow that. That was good
It's
stuff.
almost like I do this for a living every single
Coach
time.
Rice ran.
Yeah. You took a lot of the thunder.
That's why I got to go last. I didn't leave you any meat on the bones. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Picked it clean. Yeah, Florida's got a horrible rush defense. So, like you said, I think Dylan Sampson is going to continue to shine. He turned it on, especially the second half last week in Fayetteville. I think he's going to have a big evening under the lights in Neyland. But I think Nico is going to come out. I think this is Nico's game that he's going to come out and he's going to spread the ball around. He's going to get everybody involved. I think his focus and he shouldered a lot of last Saturday, especially the way it went down, the last play of the game. Hype came out after and said, listen, that's something we can't do. We've got to at least get the ball in the air and give ourselves a chance to make a play. And I think Nico knew that, but Nico now has, he's going to learn and grow from that. And I think that lights a fire under him. That gives him the determination. And I think he's gotten better this week. That kid has pushed himself, and he's going to show out. Florida, it's one of those things. Who is it? Austin Price that says, "I believe it when I see it."
That's Hubs says
it's one of those things, man. It's been a thorn in our side. I don't know how many times we've had the better team. We on paper, but I talked at the top of the show. about on paper. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything in a rivalry game. Doesn't mean anything in the SEC. It's a big night. Neyland is going to be off the walls. It's going to be crazy. Checker Neyland, 7 o'clock kick. That gives everybody, a little more than 12 hours to get well boozed up. It's going to be loud for Mertz and Lagway. I think they're going to struggle. I think the defensive line is also going to come out and play like their headphone or their hair's on fire. It's going to be a big game. And Tennessee's going to bounce back from last Saturday. I've got 27-16.
That's good. That's good.
I like it. So 3-0.
If you pick Florida to win this game, I'm kicking you off the show.
No, I'm not picking Florida to win. And you shouldn't. You know me by now.
I mean, the only one he wants to kick is me. So
yeah. So listen, it's go time. This is where your season is. What we say. You're not defined by one game. Well, this season is defined by this game. I hate to tell you, it is what it is, and the boys are going to go out 100% fire. It's Florida don't want this. Simply put, they don't want it because the guys are about to bring it each and every play. James Pierce and Joshua Joseph and Amari Thomas, Omar Norman Lott, Elijah Simmons, they are about to eat like Keenan Peely, Arian Carter, Jacoby Thomas, about to murk some dudes. Like, it is about to get real. This defense feels disrespected. This offense feels disrespected. Coach Heupel above everybody, and Nico feels disrespected. It is go time. We're going to see will the real Tennessee stand up, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to open it up. I have full confidence in that. Josh Heupel, because he's such a great coach, he went to the locker room. I mean, he woke up Sunday morning and said, I got to be better. I got to be better. It's not my team. I have to be better. It starts from the head man. I think he's going to have these guys ready to go. I think he's going to put his players in the best chance to be successful. And Nico and company are about to really show Tennessee and the national media what they're really about. I think you're going to see them open it up. Nico scores 41 points. 41 points. And it's not the same. It's the same offense, but it's with different looks. And I think they're going to open it up. Florida's not going to be ready for it. The tempo gets going for the first time all season other than the small games. Defense plays with their head on fire. 41-23, and one of those is late game touchdown. 41-23 Tennessee. Nico and company puts up over 500 yards of offense, doing what we thought they could do. And last week and the Oklahoma week were fluke one-offs. It's go time. I think Nico is going to show everybody I'm worth every freaking penny.
God,
let's get it.
I hope so. I'm sticking to my prediction. I think it's going to be a whole lot of Dylan Sampson. If I could draw it up, if I could say this is what's going to happen, it's Nico throwing for like 350, 400 yards. Like maybe he throws for 250 and runs for 100. Like, I want it to be a Nico game so bad I can't stand it.
Well, and I think Dylan Sampson will have a massive game, and him and a mixture of him, Deshaun Bishop, and Nico running the ball. I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see some pin and pull with Nico and some, empty traps with all that. But I also think you're going to see the play action be super utilized this week, and you're going to see some deep shots off of that play action, because for the first time this year, against the SEC team, you're going to see teams have to put 6, 7 guys in the box, and that's going to open up passing lanes for Nico and company. And I really think, Mike Matthews, it's your time, brother.
That's why I say hang 50 on these fools, man. That's what I'm saying. Look, hang 50 on them.
I just, man, if you like the light stopping Tennessee's run game with a light box, all it takes is a couple of Nico runs to where now you're not gonna be able to stop him with a light box. Now you're gonna have to add somebody else to that box. I think it's so critical to this offense. It's so critical. Let me hit these last couple of super chats. Timothy for 5 says, so what we need is a quarterback like Army quarterback that's 6 foot 220 that runs like a running back. No, we need a coach that's going to let Nico run. We need a coach that's going to let Nico run. That's what we need. Yeah. I never know how to say this. I'm going to say Jay-Z. For 5. Vols win 33-24 GBO. I love it. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Appreciate all the support throughout the week, whether it's Monday morning with me and Gator, whether it's last night or Tuesday night. Having so much, man. Last night hit. Last night, the last 2 Tuesday nights, it felt like the old times, man. We've had some good times. Last night was needed, man. We had DJ Boogie in the house. We were playing sad songs, and we got depressed together, and we cried a couple of times, and then we came back and we said we're gonna get fired back up for Florida, man. Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS live. I love it. Friday morning, we make Coach Jay sit out all week till when Friday comes around. That dude, his eyeballs about to pop out of his head. He cannot wait to talk on Friday morning. So that's going to be Friday morning, 10 a.m. Make sure you dial in for that. I'll be on Locked On VAWLS Friday morning as well. But that's going to do it for this one. I guess the next time I'll see you guys is probably tomorrow in a video and probably Friday morning with Coach Jay. We got the game day breakdown coming. We're going to drop it on Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, I get it. Y'all want to wake up. You want to watch College Game Day. You want to watch SEC Now. You want to watch the game. So we're going to drop the game day breakdown on Friday afternoon. So me and Coach Jay are going to go live in the morning. We're going to drop that breakdown in the afternoon, give you guys a little bit more time to watch it because it's good information. Coach Rice, Coach Jay both do their homework. They're not just on here talking, generic football like I do. Like I can talk about the grand scheme of things. They're going to deep dive and tell you what Florida does on offense, what they do on defense. They're going to give you some keys to the game, and then Coach Jay is going to give his prediction. So tune in for that. I'm going to drive it Friday afternoon. Winter EC for 5. Does nobody think UT has been exposed? Seriously, Florida always plays us like they're the freaking Patriots. Never feel good about this game. Winter EC, I think you answered your question with those last 3 little digits. BVS. Tennessee has not been exposed. The past is the past. None of that matters. All that matters is what Josh Heupel and this football team are doing. We appreciate the super chat, but I think it is battered Vol syndrome. That is going to do it for this one. For Dauber, for Coach Ross, for the X Factor, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.